Hello and welcome to NabUttE's Deck Tech. This is the second one in the series where I go through decks and talk a little bit about card choices and general strategy in the deck. Today we're going to talk about a deck I made myself, or yeah, a concept I have swapped out some cards in, so to speak. So this is a token Druid deck, which is is built around getting lots of small creatures and winning off a Savage Rare combo. So I'm going to start. The first card in the deck is Innervate. It's a really important Druid card. It's one of the best Druid cards. Basically it lets you advance your mana to 2 turns ahead a bit earlier. It's a core card. You're always going to play this in every Druid deck, 2 copies. The next card is a Argent Squire. We run 1 in the deck because we needed some more card draw, and this is one of the cards I cut. You could run 2 of those if you feel like you don't need more card draw. It's just a good creature, basic card, something to play on turn 1, good with trading and stuff. Second, we have Power of the Wild, which is one of the combo cards in this deck that makes it a token deck. This obviously has 2 modes. We're using both modes about as often. The +1/+1 combos with Violet Teacher, which I'm going to talk about later. And it can also be a 3/2 on turn 2, usually, when you need it. So this is both to fill out your curve, to have something to play on 2, because it's really important. This is kind of an aggressive deck. So yeah. Next up, we have one of the removal spells in the deck, which is Wrath. Used to maintain board control in early game and mid game. Yeah, not much to say about that. Next up we have Haunted Creeper, which is here in the deck because you want a creature that's resilient, aka hard to remove. And it combos with Power of the Wild. You can trade this into a creature, get 2 1/1 spiders, Power of the Wild, and get 2 2/2s, which is a really good deal. I'd say this is a core card in Token Druid. Next up we have Loot Hoarders, which are here because we lacked some card draw, because we replaced the Azure Drakes. So we needed something to smooth out our draws a little bit. So that's why we have 2 Loot Hoarders in here. Savage Roar is here because of the Force of Nature Savage Roar combo. It's basically a Force of Nature, and first you play Force of Nature, then you Savage Roar, and then you have 14 damage without any creatures on the field. If you have creatures, it's obviously more damage. This is basically your main finisher in the deck. Next up we have Harvest Golem. This is another resilient creature that we have here, so we can get board control and have creatures that stick around for Power of the Wild. Next up we have Swipe, which is another core card in Druid. It's a removal spell to keep board control and sometimes to finish opponents by going. Both modes are really important in this card, both dealing damage for board control or silence annoying death rattles and debuffs. Next up we have Violet Teacher, which is one of the cards that makes this a token deck. This combos with Power of the Wild. If you play Violet Teacher and then Power of the Wild, you get the token, because this is a spell, and then it buffs everything. It's a really important card and it's really good in this deck. Next up we have Druid of the Claw. I'd say it's a core card as well in Druid. It's one of the better Druid class cards. Most of the time you're going to be playing this in charge, but the taunt mode is also really important. This card is really versatile. It lets you be aggressive when you want to and defensive when you want to. Always play 2 of these. Next up we have Loatheb. It's a card that's played in almost every deck that's not really aggressive. This is here to screw over Miracles and all decks. It's really good against everything except for Sue. I would recommend to play this in almost all your decks. Next up we have the new card, Spectral Knight, that came out just yesterday. This is really annoying to remove for people, especially if you innervate it out early. It's really good against especially Control Warrior and Miracle Rogue, since they have a real big problem removing this. This slot used to be an Asher Drake up until yesterday, so that's why we run the Loot Hoarders, since we need more card rights. It's not enough with just Ancients of Lords. Next up we have Force of Nature, which is, as I said before, a combo with Savage Roar. Can be used to clear board as well. Can be used in combo with Power of the Wild as well to get 9 damage. Usually that's used to clear board or finish. And lastly we have Ancient of Lore. Core card in Druid, you're almost always playing to if you're not doing some crazy aggressive deck. This is either card advantage, which is going to be used for most of the time, or when you really need the health you can heal yourself for 5. So that's the deck. Let's go up on ladder and see a bit what we play and how it goes, and I'll go through my thought process. Okay, so first opponent is going to be Zulok, most likely. Handlock is not that popular anymore. Okay, so in our opening hand we want Wrath probably for board control. Harvest Golem is fine. We would like some earlier guy, but I think we keep this anyway. Keeper of the Grove is one of the most important cards in this matchup, either if he's Handlock or if it's Zoo. Against Zoo this is good because it deals 2 damage to creatures and kills them, and Silence is good if it's Handlock because of Twilight Drakes. We don't want to keep Druid of the Claw though because it's too expensive. We drew a poor card in this matchup, but I think we will manage with this hand. I would have preferred to have a 2-drop in this hand. Okay, we know it's a Zoo. Since I drew Argent Squire, I think I'm going to play this and save my Wrath. If I didn't get this Argent Squire, I would coin my Wrath to kill that, I think. We can silence that later. We're just going to play... We have 2 options here. I'm not too sure about which one I want. We can either play Loot Hoarder and pass, or we can Hero Power and attack into that.
I wonder.
His next turn is going to be attack here. Might as well kill that, I think.
For the wilds.
Let's have some music. And the legendary card back. So as I said, our next turn is going to be to silence that.
I must safeguard the legend.
He's not trading, huh? Ah, yeah, the Soulfire. Then it makes sense. Oh, we drew a good card here. Swipe is potentially really good here. If we swipe this turn, we could do Harvest Golem Wrath or Harvest Golem Loot Hoarder next turn. So I think we're just gonna go ahead and swipe that big one. Another line of play we could have taken would have been to Wrath that and Hero Power that, so that we could swipe next turn. But I think we would have taken too much damage if we did that.
The light protects me.
Get in there and fight, maggot!
So he only has 1 power minions on the board right now. I think we're going to go ahead and play Druid of the Claw actually instead.
Where shall I strike?
In taunt mode. Oh, so he drew a power overwhelming. That's kind of bad for us. So our next turn is most likely going to be Harvest Golem and Wrath that. This changes stuff, I think. We're just going to Wrath for 1 here, I think, and then swipe here to clean out most of the annoying stuff on the board. That's really annoying for us. Now we're a bit low. And the top takes Soulfire as well. So he has 7 damage on the board right now. Our biggest problem is that we can't really remove anything. We could Force of Nature and kill those 2. And put that to 5. But that leaves us with 3 HP. So the options we have is we probably want a hero power. So I think what we're doing is we're playing Harvest Golem and Loot Hoarder and hero powering away the 1/1 taunt.
Mind if I roll knee?
For a while. Job's done.
He needs to top deck 2 damage, which is really likely. I'm probably dead, since he's running Overwhelmings. He has used both Soulfires and 1 Doomguard though. So the cards that would kill me is... he has 1 Dark Iron Dwarf, 1 Abusive Sergeant and 1 Overwhelming. Okay, that's 1 away from lethal. I'm still not dead. He should kill my my Loot Hoarder here. That's a mistake from his part. If he does not have lethal. I think he should have definitely killed my my Harvest Golem here. I'm going to kill this guy here to draw a card, see what I get, and then make decisions afterwards. That's not going to change anything. We can kill this, but then he's going to kill me with that. So we're dead. If we had 1 more mana, we could have cleared the board and been fine. But yeah, I don't see any way out of this game.
I can see.
The Shu matchup should be pretty bad. It should be about 55% in their favor, I think. Another Sue player, huh?
Your soul shall be mine. I must protect the wild.
We don't want anything in this hand, we're just going to mulligan all thing. We got a decent starting hand. We are not really looking for Spectral Knight, but Argent Squire and Harvest Golem is fine. Wow.
The light protects me.
I should probably lower. Okay, so he doesn't play anything. That makes me believe that he's a handlock. And this hand is really bad against handlock. Against handlock you want Keeper of the Grove and an aggressive start.